This is Corey Knight, the guy who is learning how to make wooden toys. I'm getting a little bit better. This is one of my better pieces with Classroom Tech Made Simple. And today I'm going to share with you a web-based tool called Quizizz. It's incredibly similar to Kahoot. It's got a few different functions and features that you can use that make it a little bit different. So I've provided the teacher URL that you will use to create your quizzes, and then when you're ready to share out those games with your students, they will use a different URL. If they just do a Google search of join Quizizz, then they can find it that way. So when I ran across Quizizz, I felt as if it was too good for me to pass up sharing this out to you. This is a great tool. I used it for an e-learning lesson when we had a school cancellation because of weather. So that is something that you can keep in the back of your mind if you're one of those schools that has e-learning options. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. Okay, so Quizizz is still a game-based learning. It's 100% free, just like Kahoot. You can create real-time quizzes that you can have instant data sent to you as an Excel file, and the data is actually a little bit better than the data that is provided with Kahoot. That's one of the major differences between Kahoot and Quizizz. You get free access to the Quizizz library and thousands of Quizizz games created by teachers, and it also allows you to combine question sets from one Quizizz to another. They call this feature teleport, so you can teleport questions from different quizzes to create your own. Now, according to Webb's depth of knowledge, this would probably only be a level 2, but if you had your students create a Quizizz game, that would increase it to probably a level 3 on the DOK scale. Okay, so the outcome from this tutorial. We're going to create an account. I'm going to show you the website functionality. I'm going to show you how to create awesome quizzes in your class, and I'm going to show you how to save time while doing that. I'm going to show you the student view of quizzes when they participate. I'm also going to share a couple simple tricks to make quizzes fast and the different website function that I have learned to help increase the engagement in my Quizizz games. Before we dive right into this, there's a few differences between Quizizz and Kahoot. The major ones that I have found is that the answer options are on the student devices rather than on a projector or a smartboard. This helps to deter students from just punching any random button just to answer it the quickest. They actually have to go through a thought process before answering a question. The question bank for you as a teacher is much quicker to create. Students can answer at their own pace. And finally, the data that is given to you is much more user-friendly than it is with Kahoot. So let's go ahead and dive into this today. Okay, so let's go ahead and go to Quizizz.com. When you get to this screen, you're going to notice that it's very similar to Kahoot. You can click this Get Started button here in the middle, and we are going to sign up. I'm going to give everyone the time here to go ahead and sign up and create their own username and login. Okay, after you have logged in, it's going to give you the main dashboard. Over here on the left-hand side, you're going to see that it gives you these featured Quizizz games. Now, we're close to Christmas, so that's why these are some of the featured ones. You can also check out the most played and most recent ones that have been created. We're going to create our own quiz. You're going to click this red plus button, and it wants you to give a quiz name. You're going to click whether or not this is a public or private Quizizz. It doesn't really matter at this point. This is the question creator. So you type your question here. And then you're going to type in your two options. And over here on the right hand side, it's going to show you what it's going to look like for the students when they see this. Now I can add an image. I can upload it from a URL. So what I could do is I just go over here and I want to find something on Google. If I just go here and want to type in maybe an iPad, I want to look at images. I would click here and then I would view image, and then I would copy this URL, go back to the Quizizz creator, upload from URL, paste the link, and it would upload it. So this picture would then be behind my question when the students see this. If I want to create a new question, I can do that by hitting the new question button right here. I can always go back and edit the quiz info. If I'm doing something with math, I can use these different features here that are available. If I need to add different common arithmetic and algebra symbols, I can use these that are all here. And it gives you even ones for Latin, Greek, and currency. Superscripts and subscripts for science teachers. Fractions, just about every type of symbol that you need for education. Now, one of the really cool things about Quizizz is that you're able to look at different question sets created by different people who have created quizzes. So you can search any question that you want or any topic. Now I can search through my own quizzes that I've already created. I can include duplicates. And I can also include student created whenever I search. So say that I'm looking for questions on fractions. And I go through public quizzes here. You can see all of these different quizzes that people have created. And if I click on one, and I can go ahead and I can look at all the questions. If I see one that I want to add, I just hit the red plus button over here, and it will then add this question to my own quizzes that I've just created. So maybe I want to find a different one, and I see that I want another question from this one. It's as easy as that, as finding questions that you want to use for your own quizzes. If you want to go back, you just hit this red close button. And I have this incomplete question over here, so I'm just going to delete it. So now I have my Quizizz game. You always have the option of changing your answer choices. And if you want to change the correct answer, you just click on the right one. When I'm completed, I want to hit the green finish button in the upper right hand corner. And then it's going to ask you to select the grade range. So I'm just going to select grades K through 10, and then it's going to ask you to select a subject. And then you can actually create a certain topic. This helps other members of the Quizizz community to be able to search quiz games and add those questions that you've created to their own quizzes. When you are done, you hit finish and create quiz. And this is where you can add an image to the front of this. And you now have options to either play this game live or you can assign it for homework. If you assign it for homework, you can create a due date, and you have these different options for your question settings. You can have them jumble the answers, jumble the questions, show the answers, show the leaderboard, give them a question timer. I almost always eliminate the question timer because I find that students just want to rush through it without going through the thought processes and the things that I want them to think about as they're answering these questions. So when you're ready to proceed and assign this to your students for homework, you then will give them this game code and they will use this link to find Quizizz. I'm going to end this game now because this is only a tutorial. And I can always go back to my quizzes and look at the quizzes that I've created. If I want to play this game live, I get those same options that we did when we assigned it as homework. You're going to have your students join this game by going to join.quizizz.com and entering this code. And then when everyone is logged in, you will click Start Game. Okay, one other thing that you can do with Quizizz that I really like is that after you've assigned that Quizizz game as homework, you can always come here to My Reports. And this will give you all of the information about your questions. It will give you the accuracy based on certain questions. You can download this as an Excel file. You can print it. You can look at individual players' results. I don't have any players right now. So the reports section gives you as the teacher that data that you need to drive your instruction. So before we end this tutorial, let's go over here to Public Quizzes. And any Quizizz game that you want, I'm just going to click on our Quizizz game. If you want to duplicate this quiz, just like what we did with Kahoot, you can do that and you can edit this quiz to fit the needs of your classroom. Or you can just play live right away from these public quizzes or assign it as homework. If you want to save it, you just click the Add button. So you just go through and you just look at the questions that you want, and you can throw out some of the questions in the Quizizz question creator. That is the general function of Quizizz. It's very similar to Kahoot, but it allows students to work at their own pace. You can also assign it as homework, and it gives you that data that you really want to use to drive your instruction. I used Quizizz as an e-learning assignment, and it worked perfectly. I just shared out the URL to students and gave them the game code, and they were able to complete it on their own time. So I hope that you will use Quizizz in your classroom. It's something that I would not pass up and I would start using in your class immediately. You're going to see a significant increase in engagement from your students. They're going to ask to play Quizizz, no matter what grade level. This is Corey Knight with Classroom Tech Made Simple, and we'll see you next video.